So we are here with a special guest, Ebrahim, and he's a hypnotist. So for those of you who don't know, obviously you will get into that. But he's worked with some big names like William Brown, Hamza, maybe Conor McGregor in the future as well. So yeah, let me give you a quick introduction and then we can take it from there.
Pleasure to be here, bro.
Thanks, brother. It's nice to see you again.
Let's go.
We actually met Ebrahim, was like a week ago or something, at Nick's client retreat. And we're at this beautiful place right now. For the people that don't know, you just give me a bit of an introduction.
Yeah, my name's Ebrahim from London originally, been in the online space for 10 years, and basically I'm a hypnotist that helps entrepreneurs just become friggin' rich.
It's amazing.
That's awesome, bro.
Short and sweet. I love it. I think what we're going to be doing today is we're obviously going to be sort of discussing the value behind that, why he does what he does. We're also going to actually do a live hypnosis. So I'm actually very excited for that. But Ebrahim, let's start with what got you into this entire hypnosis in the first place? I'm guessing there's a lot of interest when it comes to your unconscious mind. Where did this all start for you?
So for me, I just wanted to basically make enough money to have freedom when I was 18 years old, right? So I was in university and I was going on this pathway to become an investment banker, and I quickly realized like that would take forever to get to the amount of money I wanted. So I started looking at other ways to just make money online. That was how I discovered making money with an agency and stuff like that, right? Started making money online through the agency. I was just working from my parents' shed, so I was just grinding, doing the whole thing. And what I realized was I'd be in these courses, like Iman Ghazi's course or Tai Lopez's course, and I'd realized some people would do really, really well and crush it and go on to make millions, but most people, nothing would change, even though they had access to exactly the same information. So quite quickly, I realized, well, it's not the information, because everyone has the same thing. And particularly nowadays, 10 years later, like everyone has the same info. So I realized quickly it's the mind. The mind is the difference. So it just led me on this path of discovery. 11 years ago, my brother-in-law bought me a ticket to Tony Robbins. So he's like probably the best NLP practitioner, best hypnotist, even though he doesn't define himself as one in the world. And what I discovered is like all the top people in the world, entrepreneurs, sports people, use a hypnotist. So like Andrew Tate uses a hypnotist, Mike Tyson uses a hypnotist, Jake Paul's used hypnotists.
Would you consider like visualization also a form of
100%. So this is the thing with hypnosis. Most people think it's when you just go sleep and then you're like passed out and then you're quacking like a chicken. That's just like fun, like stage stuff. Really what it is, it's a way to brainwash yourself to success, and that's what I do. So for example, if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to get to your first 10K or first 100K a month, you probably already know the steps, right? Because I was a business coach as well before this. So it's like, you probably know what to do in terms of like strategically. It's either going to be like, get more leads, get better at sales, get better at fulfillment. It's basically going to come down to those things, right? So you know what to do. So the question is, why are you not doing it? What's holding you back? That's going to be limiting beliefs. It's going to be fears. People think those things take a really long time to change, or change is hard, or it has to be this long process. It's not. Change happens immediately. Look at the hypnosis we just did before this. Everyone was a bit tired. You see the podcast, 5 minutes, energy. Everyone's now prime energy. That took 5 minutes. It's the same thing with everything else.
For those that is not aware, we just formed the pod before this, and Ebrahim just basically told us the light went off. Let me just quickly put that back on. So just before the light went off, we are basically saying that we did a bit of a quick hypnosis before this to just boost our energy, and at like 100%, I felt the difference. So I would love for you to tell the people, what would you define hypnosis, and then also the differences between the unconscious and the conscious mind. I would love for people, because I think also it's important to define these terms before we get into the deep stuff.
Yeah, so hypnosis, you could call it trance, or you could call it theta as the brainwave state. So you go, and everyone listen to this, into hypnosis every single day. When you wake up and you're in that sleepy state where you're like a bit asleep but also awake, that's hypnosis. Same thing when you go to bed. Same thing when you're driving your car from A to B and you think, how the heck did I get here? It's like autopilot, that's hypnosis. Or have you ever been texting someone and then you say, your friend asks you something and then you text what you were saying to him? That's hypnosis, because your conscious mind has been like temporarily hijacked, you've passed it. It's also the state you're in when you're 0 to 8 years old. So the reason why children can learn so fast, learn 5 languages, learn all the sports and everything, is because they're constantly in theta, which is the same as hypnosis. So after that age, we tend to not go into that as much, or we just don't know that that's the super learning state where change is immediate. So that's basically all hypnosis is. It's a normal thing that you're in all the time. And so the reason why I take people into hypnosis is because when you're in that state, you have access to the subconscious mind. You have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is like 1% or less of your mind. It can transmute about 50 bits of information. The subconscious mind, which is 99+% of your mind, can transmit 20 million bits of information per second. So 50 to 20 million, that's the difference between the conscious and the subconscious. So what are most people doing? They're saying, okay, well, I want to make 10K a month. Okay, well, I need to go and do the actions consciously. But their subconscious, the 99.9, is working against them. Limiting beliefs, fears of failure, reasons why it won't work out. That's working against them, but they just don't know it's working against them, right? So in hypnosis, you reprogram the subconscious mind to get it all working for you. And that's when flow happens. That's when things get easy. When people have massively fast success, it's always exactly the same thing that happens. They have a big belief shift internally in their mind first. Something changes, whether it was intentional or not. Something changes, which then makes them go on this crazy spur. Conor McGregor, we were just talking about, is the perfect example. Before he started fighting, he was a builder in Ireland making minimum wage. He was saying, I'm going to be the UFC champion of the world. Fucking crazy to say that at the time. But he went and did it because he literally hypnotized himself every single day to make himself believe that. Because if you believe it and then you can see it, it will happen. It's only a matter of time. Just like you were saying before we got on camera, right? Like things changed a lot for you in this last year. You had that belief shift. And then even though you didn't see the results immediately, you had so much belief and conviction, you made it happen. Now you're here. So it's like that, but then you can just quantum leap and continuously keep going. And it's just belief. People buy belief, people buy confidence, and that's what hypnosis gives you.
I love that it's making not the unconscious conscious, but it's almost like, well, in fact, I'm not actually sure who said this, but Carl Jung has said, if you don't make the unconscious conscious, it will guide your life and you will call it fate. And I also think you bring a lot of power, or you gain a lot of power back when you start making these underlying principles conscious to yourself. Because I think a lot of people, like you said, hypnotize themselves without even really knowing they're doing that.
Yep.
And so how do you go about, I think you said, the state you sort of want to create when you hypnotize yourself is essentially the theta state, correct?
Yes.
How do you go about creating that state? We're obviously going to do that now before we get into it, but how do you go about creating that state for your clients and recommend doing that?
So it's just relaxing. All it is just being very, very relaxed. So when you were in the hypnosis, you were very relaxed, right? Like meditation. For people listening, like probably they've tried meditation. When you get to that really relaxed state, it's the same kind of thing. You're just very calm, very relaxed, and that's when you're more susceptible to what we call suggestions in hypnosis, and those suggestions are going to be like the programs for your mind, the ones that you want. So that's all it is. You just have to be very relaxed. So for people, if they want to try it, I would say try it when you're just waking up or going to bed, because you're naturally going to be going into theta without, like, if you don't know how to do it and you don't know the skill set, just do it at those times of the day.
You also mentioned that from the ages of 8, people start to lose this like theta state or like this hypnosis state. Like why do you think that happens? Like what's the reason for people just like at 8, 9, they just stop and they can't hypnotize themselves as much? There's a lot
of reasons. I mean, the brain does actually change. So your brain changes. So that's one thing. But also it's like, so we go into what's called beta, which is what we're in now, where we're alert, we're having normal conversations. Like we need that to be a human in society. So you need to be in beta as well, just to get shit done. But we forget that we can go back into it, because you kind of like unlearn the things you learned as a kid, because society conditions you to be a certain way and act properly. Whereas a kid is like, fucking, what are they doing? They're like imagining like they're paratrooping down from a castle or landing on a unicorn, and they're like living in that world, and you see them. There's like completely in that world. That's an actual experience. But we get socially conditioned that we shouldn't be like that. And hypnosis is another way you can think about it, is just the imagination. Like the more you can imagine and the more that imagination is real, the more you will experience that. Because the key is to actually feel the emotion. The feeling is actually the key. The emotion is the key. Because emotion is what drives action. We make decisions based on emotion and then we justify it with logic later. We all know that from sales, right? Sales 101. We're the same. So when we can change that emotion, get that belief, then that's where everything becomes possible. Because now it's not like, oh, can I do that based on my past experience? It's no, like, I believe I can do it. And then your mind changes. So now it finds different solutions. It asks different questions, takes different actions, probably bigger actions, probably takes more risks. But because you have that belief, those risks actually pay off. And then suddenly now you start to see evidence in your life. And when you see evidence in your life, now,
like this flywheel effect.
It's a flywheel. And then you can't stop. You're unstoppable.
I mean, that's essentially just what we were speaking about just before this. It's like, in the beginning of building a business or chasing a dream or a goal or whatever, it's like your immediate environment is constantly reinforcing your current self. and you have nothing to show for, like, let's say, for example, you are striving for your ideal self, your goal. There's nothing indicating that what you're doing as of right now is, leading you to this. You have no fruits yet, no results, whatever. And I think it's so important to essentially hypnotize yourself by visualizations, affirmations, stuff like that to keep you aligned when you don't have the actual fruits. Mm-hmm. What do you think are some key things people can implement to do so? I mentioned a few that they can do to essentially hypnotize themselves to keep them on the right track.
So there's three things. You can write it, you can think it, and you can speak it. The best is to do all three. I actually think speaking is the most powerful, because when you speak into existence what it is you want, particularly when other people can then observe that, it roots it more in reality when there's like this feedback. Because if I say to you, for example, me wanting to work with Conor McGregor, that was a decision 2 hours ago. That was 2 hours ago. But like my belief and conviction is that will actually happen.
And he also said that if you can see it and have the courage to speak it,
exactly,
it will happen.
Yeah, you have to, because the reason why people don't do that is because they have the fear of failure. They're scared of, okay, what if I say I'm going to do it, I don't do it, and I fail? They're not actually scared of failing. They're scared of other people's perception of if they fail. That's what holds back 99% of people. It's just that. But if you think about it, if you don't do it, you're just guaranteed to fail anyway, or to just take 10 times longer than you would have taken. So people are just too scared. That's all it is. It's literally just fear. And what's fear? False evidence appearing real. It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. So if fear is an illusion, that's the only thing holding you back, then why not just choose to believe what it is you actually want? Why is the fear more real than what you actually want? It's actually not. It's just an illusion. So you may as well, if you're living in that delusion, you may as well live in the delusion of what you want, because that's what's actually going to help you. It's actually just logical if you think about it. So that's it. Just do those things and constantly just tap back into what you want. Because here's the thing. I also work with people who are making tens and tens of millions a year. And they actually, obviously they've got really far, but then they can still get to a point where they lose that vision. They lose those skill sets that got them to that point, and then they stagnate. So whether you're at zero or tens of millions, it's actually the exact same process. So it's constantly just being able to come back to those principles. That's it.
So if you enjoyed this conversation and you relate with the health and wealth aspect, and you know both of these are very important when it comes to scaling a business or just as an entrepreneur in general, top link in the description if you want a more personalized approach, to scaling a business or in the health aspect as well. And also in the description is access to our free community where we've got 20 hours of content that you can just consume.
100%. If you enjoyed this conversation, share it to a friend. Maybe think about subscribing, put the notifications on. It helps the channel a lot. And by doing so, we can get some more interesting guests like this. So let's get back to the video. I mean, you just mentioned, you've been working with some high-level people. What would you say is something that they and we all struggle with in general? Like even making 100K amounts to 1 mil amounts to 10 mil to whatever. What is like that one underlying thing that you found everybody's struggling with, and what would you recommend them to do to sort of make the switch in that?
So it's just always fear. It's always fear. It's always fear. It's always some kind of fear, which can be combined with limiting beliefs, but it's all really the same thing. It's either like you don't believe you're good enough to get to that goal, right? You don't have enough confidence in yourself. A lack of confidence is essentially just fear. So it's the same thing. Or you believe a fear to be true, aka like I will fail if I get to this point. Or even, well, let's say you have a business and then you're scaling it up, but then you get more clients, and then now that you believe that more clients equals more headache, and your life gets worse as you get more clients.
It's like fear of success.
Exactly, fear of success, which again is just fear of failures, but masked as fear of success. So it's always fear. It's actually always fear. And so when you can remove fear, which you can actually remove, it's just a limiting belief in your mind, then you just see clearly and you see things for what they are. And if something happens that you don't want to happen, it's fine. For me, it's like reprogramming the belief. So the question I always ask is, why is this the best possible thing that could have happened when something does go wrong? Because then it will work for you anyway. Yeah. So if you see the world that way, from that perspective, nothing can hurt you. Only things work for you. And when you have that viewpoint, nothing can hold you back. So it's literally just fear. In the absence of fear, this is a question, like wherever you're at right now, for the people listening, if you didn't have fear, what would you do differently right now? If you weren't scared, if you didn't have fear of failure or success or whatever, what would you do differently right now? Because I guarantee you would take more action You already know the things you should be doing, but you would do them with certainty. Or another way of asking that question is, if you knew success was guaranteed, and if you just took the actions, what would you do? And how fast would you do it? Because if I said to you, hey, I have 2 winning lottery tickets here, and they're both for 10 million each, how quickly would you run to go cash that thing in? Because you have 100% certainty and belief that it's worth that, right? But if I say, hey, here's 2 lottery tickets, but they're losers, well, your belief is 0. So you're not even going to bother cashing it in, right? That's the same thing. People are literally sitting on that lottery ticket of if they just do those actions, they will get success, just mathematically, right? We know what to do. But people don't believe that. It's just a belief holding them back. So by hypnotizing yourself, you change the belief, you change the operating system in your subconscious mind, your actions change, your results change.
And Alex likes to talk about, Alex Hormozi says that
the
the ladder of success, like people might have the beliefs, but they lack the skills and the traits. Can that also be like programmed in a sense quicker?
Oh, 100%.
As well?
100%. The thing is with the skills are actually the easy bit, to be honest.
I agree.
Like getting good at sales, getting good at marketing, getting good at cinematography, maybe not to exactly your level, because you guys are a baller, but like to get good enough to make 10K a month, 100K a month is so easy. You can honestly learn that in a day or 2. Like the actual skill set, if you really, Hormozium says that it takes 20 hours to get really good at a skill set. So realistically, like any skill is learnable, but this is also a skill. Learning how to hypnotize yourself is also just a skill.
So it's all skills, actually.
Everything
I think you mentioned that as well.
Yeah, everything's a skill. Yeah, he says that. I actually completely agree, because everything is learnable.
Yeah.
Right? Even the way you act, the way you show up, how you look, it's a skill to change all of those things. You can change everything. Everything's changeable.
What does it mean to actually believe in yourself? Like, I think a lot of people, and this is a firm belief that I do have, is that if you truly believe that what you want to achieve, it's possible to do so, and you have a clear goal and picture as to what it is, you can achieve it. But like actually believing that it's possible, a lot of people say, oh, that they believe it or whatever, the actions don't show it.
Yeah.
Because you also mentioned the beliefs behind it. What do you think, what does that actually mean, believing that it's possible?
Well, let's just define what a belief even is, right? What is a belief? Well, it's a thought that was in your mind that's been repeated over and over again until you believe that thought to be true. That's all a belief is. So the problem is most people's beliefs are limiting beliefs that they didn't even choose to install themselves. They just came from fucking their parents, they came from a school system, they came from the environment that they were in, shitty friends around them. So you don't realize it, but those are the beliefs that are in your head. So of course you're not going to think you can succeed. Bro, if everyone who's watching this was hanging out with the people here, how quickly would their beliefs change?
Oh, crazy.
Why would they change? Well, you suddenly see people making millions who are actually not that different from you. So suddenly your belief changes because you think that dude over there on his laptop's making millions. He had a similar upbringing to me. He doesn't have any special things about him. So I can do that too, right? That's the value of environment and person, right? I always say your internal state equals your external reality. Your internal state is made up of your thoughts, emotions, and environment. So this is an example of like environment, what we're talking about right now. So the only thing that changed is by being around other people, your belief changed. That's literally it. So for everybody, if you want to experience a rapid belief shift, just go and be around someone who's where you want to be. Just do whatever it takes to be around that person. I don't care if it's getting on a plane, DMing 1,000 people, paying money, thrifting your way in, break into a pilot. I don't care. Whatever you have to do to see it, because when you see it, you will then believe it. That is honestly the hack to get massive belief. That's why I love hanging around with amazing people. It's because I know that if I can take lenses of their reality, I can choose to take those on, just like putting a program into a computer. The problem is most people's programming is shit. It's stuff and they're not even aware of it. They don't even know it. They're being hypnotized.
That is the most dangerous thing, is the unknown unknowns.
Bro.
It's like you're not even aware of this thing yet.
Exactly.
You don't even know how to ask.
Yeah.
Like that is a question that I would love for you to answer, is like, or just at least give your opinion on it, is how do you go about identifying limiting beliefs?
So you just have to ask yourself questions. That's honestly if you're doing it by yourself, you just have to ask yourself questions. So like, for example, let's say you want to make 10K a month or you want to make 100K a month. Well, okay, let's just ask some questions around it. Or ChatGPT it, bro, at this point. Do I believe I can make 100K a month. Yes, no, maybe, yeah, maybe, but I don't believe this. Okay, why don't I believe that? Okay, because of this. Okay, why that? Oh, because actually like making money is hard. Okay, why do I believe making money is hard? Oh, because it was hard for my parents to make money and that's what they told me. Okay. And suddenly like you can start to just untangle what you actually believe just through self-inquiry. Just use ChatGPT, honestly, just use
You're
ChatGPT.
making it conscious.
You're becoming aware, right? That is how we raise in consciousness. I'm a very spiritual person as well. Like we raise in consciousness by increasing our awareness. So as soon as you're aware of that limiting belief, you can change it because now you can see it. It's only, that's why having like a coach or having somebody or anyone in your life who can give you that third party perspective is so valuable because it's unseen until somebody makes it seen, right? Like they illuminate the limitation. But even just by yourself, questions, because that's all a coach will do for you. They'll just ask you, a good coach will ask you questions to help you figure it out. So you ask yourself the questions, take the time, sit down, get a pen and paper, ask yourself questions, journal prompts, just Google some stuff. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit online you can look at. And then you'll see quickly like what you believe to be true. Because if you're saying like, no, like my beliefs are really good, okay, are you at your goal? If you're not at your goal, then there's a belief somewhere that doesn't align. Because if you fully believed it, you'd be there. Or you'd be on the pathway like very quickly about to be there. You 100% would. So you can start from the goal and work your way back. That's why I always do.
I think surrounding yourself with the right people is so important because what it does is it gives you the permission to have. I think that's all it really like encompasses. Like you meet these people and you're like I thought, and you put them on this pedestal. Like they are this like crazy human being can do crazy things. And I also said on a previous podcast that you'll be very disappointed when you meet these people because you are putting them on this pedestal. It's not their fault, it's your fault. And you're putting on this pedestal and then you're like, okay, and then you give yourself permission to actually achieve it as well.
Exactly.
I love that. So you just, so let's say, for example, let's take a step back. So you identified these limiting beliefs. Let's say someone doesn't have a coach, someone has no whatever. What is a couple of things they can do to now change those limiting beliefs?
It's honestly going to be so simple, you probably won't even believe this is the truth, but this is actually...
It's a limiting belief as well.
Yeah, literally. That's one in itself. It's actually, it's so simple, right? Just think of your mind as a computer, okay? Computer has what? Programs that go into it.
Inputs.
Inputs. Think of the limiting belief as the input that's going into your mind right now. As soon as you're aware of what it is, let's say people with lots of money are bad.
Or evil,
Or evil, right? That's a common one. Okay. Well, once you recognize that, all you have to do is change the belief. So first, just literally write it down. What's my limiting belief? And then on another sheet of paper, be like, what's my new belief? People with, well, what could be some other things that you could believe? Well, people with money can make more impact. People with money can be more generous. They can be more abundant. They can give more. They can do more. They can be more free. And suddenly, these are all your new beliefs. And so if you then only have positive association, and I'm just using money because I know it's a lot of entrepreneurs. Obviously, it's everything, but I'm just using money. Then suddenly now, those are your new beliefs. Start repeating those beliefs. Speak those beliefs. Write those beliefs continuously. But don't just do the exercise. Because if you just do it, nothing will happen. You have to actually feel it inside of you. So do it with conviction. Do it like fucking scream it out loud. Like if you knew that you could get towards your goal and this was all you had to do to start getting there, and that is, I'm telling you, that is literally like the 80-20 of it. Fucking go and do it. When I was at my parents' house living in their shed, I had a friggin' trampoline that I would jump on every morning. I would scream my affirmations out loud. I'll send you a picture. You can put it on the screen after. I had 2 massive whiteboards and it had all my beliefs on it. This was over 10 years ago.
Wow.
And it literally, I would just scream them every single day. And eventually after a year, my neighbors came around, pissed. I didn't know they could hear me. For a year I was doing it. Like in the
You were
shed.
hypnotizing them, bro.
Yeah, no, but I didn't know that was hypnosis. Do you know what I mean? Like I was just doing it, but that is hypnosis.
So I see a lot of entrepreneurs, they do this whole visualizations, affirmations, hypnosis for like the first 1 to 2 years and then they stop.
Exactly.
Do you think people need to continue doing it?
So why do they stop? They stop because they get there.
Yeah.
That's why they stop. They actually get to the goal. Like, and that's what the problem, a lot of my clients have that problem. They're like, bro, I'm literally living the exact life I set out. Why am I not going forward? Are you still doing those things? No. That's all it is. So you just have to update them constantly.
Yes.
That's all it is. So I'm always updating. Like every goal I have is constantly moving. Or like I'm hitting it faster. So then I'm changing it and I'm constantly moving forward. Because it's not actually about the goal. It's about how you grow in the pursuit of that goal. That's actually what creates fulfillment. So the goal is just something to aim towards because we need a target. Otherwise, we're just running around like headless chickens.
So you obviously work with entrepreneurs in this space, and you essentially help them break down or identify their limiting beliefs, break that down, and place newer ones that's essentially more beneficial. You know, it's leading to a better outcome. So, what would you say is a couple of common beliefs that might relate to some of the audience members, and how would you go about sort of, how should I say, not removing them, but replacing them with better ones?
Yeah, so common beliefs, honestly, it's just, say it's like you're just starting out, you don't actually believe that you can hit that amount of, let's just say 10K a month. You just don't actually deep down believe you can do it. Like if you're being fully honest, like at Nick's mastermind the other day, we were at a mastermind and I asked people, how confident are you can get towards your goal out of 10? 1 to 10, how confident are you? Everyone said between like 5 and up to 8.
7 out of 10, 6, 8, whatever.
No one said 10. That's crazy if you think about it, because all you're saying is I'm confident, I'm not confident about hitting my goal. That's what you're actually saying. So if you're not even allowing yourself to have full belief in yourself, what are you doing? If you think about it, right? And why would you not do that? Oh, because I don't want to be judged. What if I fail and people see? I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to be embarrassed. That's why you're not doing it. And if I asked you, do you care what other people think or should you care? You'd say no. Or to at least a degree, you'd be like, no, like I'm just doing my thing. But subconsciously you do. Subconsciously. This is where it's key, right? With the mind. So that's honestly the biggest ones. That's literally it. If you just were able to change your beliefs and not actually care and just do what you want to do with full conviction and belief and be willing to be wrong. Be willing to be, I've been wrong loads of times.
Yeah.
I've failed loads of times, but I haven't failed, I've learned.
Yeah.
People are fearful of failure. That's what it is. And so if you just change failure to learn or change failure to grow or understand more, then the only failure is if you stop.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
What would you say about like people say, oh, but you're delusional? Like, what do you mean?
Exactly.
You want to make 10K a month? You're working at McDonald's,
Bro, you're
delusional.
You're delusional for not trying to do it. You're living by the delusion of fear that you can't do it. You're delusional. You just think that's normal. That's delusional, right? That is delusional. Like you think that you doing whatever you're doing, I don't want to like discriminate against anyone, is the right way or the better way or the safe way. It's like, no, that's fucking delusion. Like you not living up to your potential, that's delusional to me. That to me is like, I can't comprehend why you would do something like that. You not starting that business, that is delusional to me, because the pain of regret will always outweigh the fear of failure. Always. So one of the things I'll do in hypnosis is like get you to actually feel that regret if you don't do it, because you live in a delusion that you have as much time in the world as you want. Like we'll be scared about spending money on something that will help us grow, but we don't care about like wasting hours and hours procrastinating or doing nothing. Yeah. The only thing we can't get back is time. The only thing guaranteed is that we will die. It used to be death and taxes. No, none of us pay tax. No one pays tax anymore. So the only guarantee is death. And yeah, sure, we're going to extend our lives to 150 or whatever, but we're still going to die. Yeah. That's the only thing that's certain.
I want to know your perspective on urgency as well as patience. Because a lot of people say that, oh, I will achieve my goals, I'm patient. Patient is like a virtue as well, right? Doing things in the meantime. But like, what's your take on urgency versus patience?
Yeah, so macro, you want to be patient on the macro, right? In terms of like big picture goals, be patient. Micro, you want to have massive urgency every single day. So in terms of the actual actions, but people do it the other way around. Yeah. Right? People are impatient on like, I want to get to millions. But then when it comes to the day-to-day, they're just like chilling, like nothing's happening. It's the other way. So I'm very, very urgent day-to-day of like, right, let's go, let's maximize everything. But I'm super detached from the goal and when it happens. I don't care, like, I know that if I just have urgency on doing the right inputs, the output will happen. That's just business 101, right? So that's all it is. Like, you just got to put your attention in the right places. Yeah, still like visualize, still focus on that goal, feel it, experience it. That will increase your belief, your conviction, your confidence. But then just head down, focused on what you need to do. That's it.
So you said previously you believe your internal state creates your external environment, correct?
External reality, I have it tattooed. Yeah, IS equals ER.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's like the main, is that like the main, how should I say, purpose or like vision when you move into a hypnosis session with someone?
100%.
Is to essentially take control of their own internal environment, essentially guide them into something more positive, and then essentially that will realize itself in the physical form.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to move into the actual hypnosis right now. I first, maybe if you need a preface, I'm sort of like, use it on risk or whatever. You can do that right now, but I think that will be amazing. Ebrahim's going to move into a hypnosis session with us. We can like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever you think is best. And then we're going to discuss sort of, essentially our experience of that, and afterwards, just how it feels.
I mean, the viewer, or if you're listening, you can actually do it as well. Put on a 1x speed. It's probably on 2x speed right now. 1x speed, and then you can do it as well.
Good luck listening to me on 2x speed. Right, so we're going to go into the hypnosis now. So if you're driving, operating any heavy machinery, anything like that, obviously stop or come back to this. If you're chewing any gum, spit it out. If you have glasses on your head that could fall off, take them off. Ideally, like sit somewhere comfortable. So if you like drop down or anything, 1/3 of people will just like flop on the floor.
Wow.
Sit down or lay down, and then just focus on what I'm saying. If you want to get the same results as them, you can literally just copy exactly what's happening. Like clients pay me tens of thousands of dollars to exactly what I'm about to do to these guys. So genuinely, like if you just follow it, you will get the benefit from it. And we'll jump in.
Let's go.
Okay, so before we jump in, do you have like a main goal that you guys want to work towards? So I want to make this like actually
as tangible as possible.
Yeah, like I want you to get like full benefit from this.
Well, I would say the main goal is to move our brand forward, and I think
our
tangible,
vision.
and the vision. And there's a lot of different reasons for that, but I think a very tangible thing is I want 350 members in our paid community.
Beautiful. Okay. Amazing. Okay. So for you guys listening to this, like think of your main goal as well. So like you can just replace whatever I say here for your main goal. I'm going to try and make it as like inclusive for everyone so everyone can benefit from it. Okay. So if you're listening right now, just follow exactly what I say. Okay. So you can start just by putting your feet together like this, keeping them straight. And then all you need to do to be successful at hypnosis is follow the exact instructions I say and then relax. You do those two things, you're going to be amazing at hypnosis, just like a meditation, okay? So I want you to relax as much as possible. So just give me your arms. I want these arms to be so relaxed that when I drop them, it's like a sack of meat dropping to the floor. Good. And this one, same thing. And drop. Okay, now what I want you to do is take a deep breath into your chest right now. And out. One more time. And out. Now, I want you to put your hands together like this. You can just look up for 1 second so you can clasp your hands together, okay? And just put them up like this in front of you. And if you're at home, we're clasping our hands together right now. And now what I want you to do is grip those hands really hard and focus with your eyes closed or looking at your hands on your hands getting very, very heavy and stuck together. I want you to actually imagine your hands are getting stuck together. And the more you imagine it, the more stuck that they become. And now I want you to imagine that I'm pouring super glue over your hands right now. It's running all over your hands, in between your fingers, between your hands, between your palms, your thumbs. Every single finger is getting super glued together. And now what happens is that super glue dries. And as that super glue dries, you can literally feel the stuckness on your hands right now. And what I want you to do is test that your hands are actually starting to get stuck. Notice how your hands are actually getting stuck together right now. The more you try to think about opening them, the more stuck that they become. And in a moment, when I say the word sleep, you will not go to sleep. You will just go into a very deep state of relaxation, okay? In 3, 2, and sleep. Fully relaxing all the way down, completely letting go all the way down with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sleep. Completely letting go, letting that relaxation go through your neck, through your jaw, completely focused on the present moment, focused on the sound of my voice. and nothing else. And now I want you to imagine yourself at the top of a golden staircase. And you can see 10 steps going down on this golden spiral staircase. There's a golden handrail to the right-hand side. And I want you to now take a step downwards on that golden spiral staircase. As you take this step, you go in 1,000 times deeper into this state of relaxation. And with every step that you take, you fade deeper and deeper, calmer and more relaxed. You completely let go. And as you continue to walk down this spiral staircase, you will find that you go even calmer. Your mind fades, it goes completely clear. And as you get to the bottom of this staircase, you will find 2 steel heavy boots at the bottom. I want you to imagine yourself putting your feet into those super heavy boots that are completely glued to the ground. Even right now, you can actually feel the weight of those boots on your feet as you get into them. Now that weight gets 100 times heavier. It's like the whole of the Earth's gravitational pull is pulling you down to the ground. You can feel that extreme weight in your feet, in your ankles, going all the way up to your legs. And in a minute, when I say eyes open, you're going to notice that your feet are indeed stuck to the ground. Eyes open, wide awake. Notice how your feet are stuck. Can you feel that? Can you move them? How do you feel right now?
I'm present. Yeah.
How do your feet feel?
It's definitely heavier.
Yeah, it's heavier for sure.
Beautiful.
I'm extremely present. Right?
Extremely present. Okay. And sleep. Completely relaxing, going in 1,000 times deeper now. And notice now how that heaviness from your feet now moves up to your legs. And your legs are now completely heavy and stuck to the surface beneath you on the sofa. Notice how the more you try to think about moving your legs, the more stuck that they become, because you have imagined yourself to be completely stuck to the sofa. Eyes open, wide awake. Try moving.
Cool. I feel so much heavier.
Yeah.
Like I can move, but like so much heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're doing great. You're in hypnosis right now. And sleep. Fully relaxing now. Again, completely letting go. Now, when I clap my hand, you'll be able to get out of the steel boots. You step out of the steel boots, and now you notice that at the end of a corridor, you see a light shining beneath 2 doors. You walk up to those 2 doors and open them, and you find yourself in a movie theater. This movie theater is completely empty. Nobody's in it except you. There's a blinding light coming from the screen. And as you go and sit yourself in the very front row of this movie theater, the light is so bright from the screen that you actually recline yourself. If you can start to see that bright light, I just want you to nod your head. Okay, great. Now, on this movie screen, it's actually playing your life. And it's not just any part of your life, it's 2 distinct paths. You find yourself at a pitchfork in the road. There's a pathway to the left, and there's a pathway to the right. And first of all, you look at the pathway to the left. It's familiar, you recognize the environment. It's actually mostly based on your past self. All of the limiting beliefs and fears that you used to have are present on this path. And as you take a step on your path, a year goes by, and you realize not much has changed in your life. You're still exactly in the same place. Yeah, maybe you've made a bit of progress, but you've still kept all of those old fears, those limiting beliefs with you. And now as you take another step, 5 years go by, and 10 years goes by. And as you take this final step, you find yourself at the very last moments of your life here on Earth. In fact, there's 60 seconds left. In these last 60 seconds, as you see the clock counting down, your loved ones look down at you. And you can't help but feel this sense of regret wash over your entire body. And you feel this regret because you know deep down inside of you that you didn't live up to your potential. And that kills you inside, that you didn't live up to your potential. You could have done so much more, but you allowed fear to govern your life and make your decisions. You allowed fear to hold you back. And as you have this realization, you immediately get up and come all the way back to the beginning of that fork in the roads. And now the movie screen changes and the pathway to the right appears. And it's like this golden light shining down on this pathway, and you feel this sense of relief as you immediately see your best version of your life playing out. Your brand is absolutely crushing it. You see millions of followers on social media, hundreds and hundreds of community members are continuously coming in. They're so happy because you're helping them to change their life. You're empowering them. They tell other people about it. You are absolutely crushing your goals. Notice where you are right now. Notice the environment. Notice who you're surrounded by. Notice how much confidence you have in yourself, how you stand, how people look at you when you walk into the room, just how good you feel about yourself. And as you take another step, a whole year goes by and your life has completely changed again. You're now the best in your industry. You are at the very, very, very top of what you do. People look up to you. And you realize now in this moment that all it took to get to this point was one decision to think, feel, and act in accordance with this version of your reality. And you can actually feel how real this feels right now. It's like, it actually feels like it's already done because your belief is 100%. Any doubt, any uncertainty, any fear, any limiting beliefs have been removed from your subconscious mind. They no longer exist because you realize that they weren't even your limiting beliefs in the first place. They came from somewhere else. And the more you try to even think about those limiting beliefs, the funnier you find it because you realize they're made up, they're bullshit. And you've actually forgotten them. And you fully associate with this new pathway now, this best version of you, the healthiest, the wealthiest, the most successful version of yourself, the most confident version of yourself. And now you get to make that decision on which pathway you take. Do you take the pathway on the left or do you take the pathway to the right? And as you make that decision, I want you to take a deep breath in and imagine your current self and future self as a hologram moving together with 5, 4, 3, 2, and sleep, allowing your current self and future self to integrate into one. All of the positive emotions and associations to this flood around every cell of your body. You fully feel it. You feel completely certain, completely sure. You know exactly what to do from now on this moment forward without hesitation. You feel fucking amazing. 3, 2, 1, eyes open, wide awake.
Wow.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow. That's crazy, bro.
Yo, thanks so much.
The two first things I can think of, like straight off the bat, is like true belief and confidence is what's like urging right now. You know, I asked you previously, what is confidence? What is belief? That's what I asked you. I think this is what belief is. Is feel like I'm completely aligned with my ideal self. And I think confidence is seeing that it's possible and believing that. And then stepping into that, making the decision to believe that, you know. Wow, I feel amazing, bro.
It all comes down to confidence, really.
Exactly.
Wow.
Confidence is everything. And for you guys listening who just did that, timestamp this on the video or on the thing, so you can just go back to this and literally just listen to this every single day for the next 30 days. Because you will literally, using that, you will brainwash yourself for success. This is honestly the same thing I do for my clients. Take this and just keep listening to it. Put it in your ears every single day in the morning and write a comment below it what your actual results are, because you will see your whole life will change.
And the funny thing is, it literally takes like 10 minutes.
Literally.
And some people, they say, oh, I don't have time. Like, but they scroll on Instagram during that time.
If you don't have 10 minutes, you do not have a life.
Exactly.
Like, your life does not exist if you don't
It's
have
exactly that. It's like someone says he doesn't have time to meditate for 10 minutes a day, and then the yogi said that's exactly the type of person that needs to meditate.
You need to meditate for 6
day.
hours a day if you don't have 10 minutes a day.
Wow, that's extremely powerful. It's very difficult to convey. It's like trying to tell someone the value or convey the value in networking if they've never previously done networking. It's like it's so difficult to express that, but I can tell you guys right now that if you do this correctly, you definitely feel a tangible sense of, it's almost like peace in knowing that it's already done.
Exactly.
You know, and I think operating out of that place, it just happens. It's like I'm almost embodying the person that I want to become already, and I think that allows me to then achieve that. You know, like I'm a different posture.
You are embodying it, and there's no thing. You are. You are embodying that version of yourself right now. You are that person because it's you. And so that's why your reality is going to change rapidly fast. That's how you move fast. It's by actually doing, which you're doing right now. There's no think. Think doesn't exist. So you're doing it.
Yeah.
Doing this in the morning or at night?
As much as possible.
As much as possible.
I personally like mornings the most because I can guarantee I know I'm going to do it. Because if other things come up, maybe whatever happens, right? Obviously do both, but definitely do the morning because you can control your morning. You always have the first 10 minutes to be able to control. Do this first thing.
And it sets the tone for the day as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not necessarily about, oh, like, I believe I'll make it happen. It's like, you know.
Exactly.
Like
That's the difference. See, that's the 100% confidence. When you know, you will do it.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is.
Yeah.
And you can apply this principle to anything you want in your life. So whatever you guys want, like write down the things that you actually want now, but do it from this state. So you do it from this state. You guys listening, do it from this state. Because I guarantee you what you actually want, like if you were my client, I'd be 10xing that goal immediately. That's the first thing I'd be saying to you, like why not 3,000? Because now you have to think from that reality and embody that reality. And guess what? Even if you don't make 3,000, you're probably going to hit 2,000.
Yeah.
You've just still 8x your goal.
And obviously you are operating from a different frame, so your inputs is going to be so much different.
Drastically
sure.
different.
Yeah.
And you have to not, it's not just about what you physically do, it's the decisions, right? So suddenly it's like, okay, well, if I want to get to 3,000, you can't keep doing exactly what you're doing. You have to make changes. Maybe it's hiring people, maybe it's different systems, whatever, right? It's got to be different things when you get into it. You'll then be able to make those decisions that you need to make because you're operating from that version of yourself. So it'll just feel like, oh yeah, of course you need to do this because it's done.
Wow, that was
good.
crazy. Like
That was
it's the best way to explain it is a presentness. Like when, like with the boots thing, like as soon as you mentioned like you out of that, I could just feel my body just releasing it, you know?
That's essentially entering theta state, right?
Exactly. Wow. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's theta.
Yo, if I was conscious at like 7 years old, bro, oh my word, being like that the whole time, that is ridiculous. Yeah, that was extremely valuable. I appreciate you doing that. I know you charge a lot for your clients, and you guys obviously experience that for free now as well. So definitely hit up my boy Ebrahim. Like we're gonna link all your stuff in the description. And yeah, this was an absolute amazing conversation. You guys want to speak about a couple more things, touch more topics?
I think we hit most topics.
Yeah.
I think it was good.
This was amazing. Thank you so much. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, just Instagram, YouTube, search Ebrahim Hypnotist, you'll find me.
And what you're working on currently?
So right now, I'm actually just about to launch my inner circle. So I'm really excited about that because it's the first time I'm working with group. So it's more accessible to people. And I'm basically just doing this now, getting people, like you said, environment is everything, right? So getting people who have the right mindset together whilst doing the hypnosis and the coaching on top of it. That's the thing I'm launching at the moment. Super excited for.
So I'm an entrepreneur. I want to work with you. Is that the best way to do so? The inner circle?
Yeah.
You do one-on-one
I
as
do
well?
one-on-one and I do the inner circle. Yeah, right now, those are what I have.
Bro, I appreciate you
Pleasure,
taking
bro.
the time to do this. Thank you so
Pleasure,
much.
man. No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Great questions as well. Good combo.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Easy.
Wow, dude, that was amazing.
That was good.
What the fuck?